Hi, I'm Chris Dickey with 22 Local. Recently I caught up with Brad Bradley, a local Jackson Hole resident who decided to lottery off his home rather than sell it. For $100, you could be the winner of his home.
My name's Brad Bradley, and doing a raffle for a home in Jackson Hole. We're only selling 15,000 tickets, and we have to sell 10,000 is the minimum in order for the raffle to occur, in order to cover the cost of the home and paying the income tax for the winner. The drawing will be on October 1st, assuming that we hit the 10,000 tickets sold, or if we sell all 15,000 tickets sooner, then we'll have the drawing before October 1st. I guess to talk about how it started, we'd have to kind of go back to last summer when I put the house up on the market. And I had some interested parties that wanted to purchase the house, and we put it up on the market at $749,000. And when the parties, as we were talking about the contract, the buyers were concerned about the real estate market and concerned what was going to happen and if there would be a fall in market prices, or if they'd be able to get a mortgage. And as time went on, both those interested parties ended up not purchasing the home and holding off and waiting to see what happened with the market. So at that point, we kind of were in this current situation of not being able to sell it, or people not being able to get a mortgage was the other issue that we were encountering, because the mortgage lending had gotten so tight. So we took it off the market, and we're looking at alternatives, whether to rent it, what the options would be available to us. And I came across an article about raffling a home. So that started the process of researching to see, well, could I raffle it on my own? And that's what led to the research with the Wyoming saying that you're not able to raffle a home as an individual. Must be done by a charitable organization. So then, since I worked with the Jackson Volunteer Fire Rescue Association, I spoke to those officers about would they be interested in doing this, and how would we make this work, and how would we organize it. And we worked with them to kind of set up the framework. And then the next step was, well, if we're going to spend the time and effort and money to do it, we should make a fair amount of proceeds for these charities to walk away with. And that's kind of when it began to take on a life of its own. With our expected budget, that would be about $500,000 would go to those 4 charities. In our next process when we talked was, how do we make this so people look at it and go, why wouldn't I buy a ticket? And when we looked at why raffles fail, which most of them do fail, a lot of them out there don't go to fruition. And we said, how do we make this work? And we felt that limiting the number of tickets sold was one thing. The people know their odds up front. One of the other things was paying the income tax. A lot of people end up winning and decline the house because they're not able to pay the income tax. So we said, as the charities, we will pay the income tax on behalf of the winner. And since we were doing that, let's go ahead and pay the closing cost for the winner also. So the person truly gets the house for $100. And then the other aspect of why raffles don't work is, or why they fail sometimes. They'll end up raffling a home that's in terrible shape, or it's basically been left and deserted, and it's needs a lot of repair, a lot of work, and someone's actually winning more of a headache than they are of winning a dream home of some kind. So those were kind of the 3 things: limiting the tickets, paying the winner's income tax, and making sure that the house is a high caliber home, that when somebody walks in, there's really nothing that needs to be done. I had looked at some lottery websites, because some people had asked me a question of, what are my odds compared to a lottery? And when I looked at a couple of different state lotteries, it seemed like to win $1 million, you were kind of in a 1 in 5 million chance to win $1 million, which is essentially what this prize would be. The homes was valued at $735,000, and then the income tax that will be paid by the charities will be about $200,000. So it's basically $1 million prize that you're winning. Whereas with this raffle, we're only doing 15,000. That's the max number of tickets. So you have a 1 in 15,000 chance.